Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and glue, we're going to hinge on our control surfaces. Here we have two ailerons, which are beveled, and they should have a mark, at least on one of them, telling you which side it should go on. And then we have the elevator, which is also beveled, and also should be marked to tell you which side they go on. Okay? And they're going to go on right like that. Go ahead and put them in place. Okay? We're going to start first with one aileron. Okay? We're going to cut some tape. Now this piece of tape, boy, don't you hate when that happens? Can't get it through? Okay. Okay. We're not going to go full length. We're going to stay back about ½ an inch on each side. Doesn't have to be exact. Just close. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your tape, half of it on the aileron. The other half just let hang over. Okay? Then we're going to take that, okay, and we're going to do this gently. You're going to want a millimeter of space between this part and the part that goes under the fuselage. And you want it centered inside this gap. Make sure you're nice and centered before you press down. So once you press down, that's it. So what will happen is if you try to peel this off now, it will take the paper with it, and you'll wind up ruining the part. Okay? Now, cut another piece of tape, the exact same, well not exact, but close to the same length. Okay. You just guess them. If you want to sit there and use a ruler and cut it exactly, you could. It really isn't necessary though. Okay? Then what we're going to do is we're just going to flip this back. That's all we have to do, a little flip back. And we're going to go center like this, right on across. What we want to do is make contact with that piece of tape that's in between that 1 millimeter space that we left. And slowly work backwards like this. Work it backwards. And the same thing for the bottom. Nice and squeeze, work away from the hinge point to the back. Okay, and there we go. Now we have the aileron. Now we're going to do the elevator. The elevator is just slightly different. The top piece of tape is the same. We stay back about ½ an inch from each side. And half on and half hanging over. Okay. Now this here, very important that you do it this way, goes like this. You don't go towards the center because there's actually a gap between the two elevators. So you don't want to do that. You want to line this line up here. This line here should be set up perfectly. About 1 millimeter of space. Okay, and we get our X-Acto knife, and you'll see here that the tape is partially covering our recess for the vertical fin, and we don't want that there because that'll prevent us from gluing it, and we won't have a good glue joint there. We just work the piece out, and that part's ready. Now in the bottom, it's a little bit different. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut a 1-inch piece of this tape. All we're going to need is 1 inch. You can guesstimate if you're a millimeter or two off, it isn't going to matter. Boy, this stuff is so sticky. Alright. We're going to flip this back, and we're just going to do this. Work our way towards the back, down underneath, and there. And then, while we're flipped over here, clean this up. We're going to roughly get a piece about 2.5 inches long on this side. You can eyeball it, see what you need there. Doesn't have to be exact. And then we do the same thing like we did for the other one. Put a little piece on the bottom, grab it, and work our way back. Okay? Go ahead and do the same for the other side. And like I was saying earlier, you see, when they're lined up like this, you have that gap in between. That's there so that they don't conflict with each other, because these tend to go back and forth in opposite direction. And then you do your aileron like you did on the other side. We'll see you in the next phase, the next step.